Synopsis here, and I am back with another album that has been suggested by my good friend Vendel from Vendel's Metal and Stuff. Be sure to check out his channel in the link below, or maybe I'll have it up here at the end. We'll see. Anyways, this album is called Cursed Cross from the band called the Crucifier, and they are out of Greece, and they are thrash metal. So let's dig into the Cursed Cross. It opens up with two bombastic, blazing, traditional thrash metal type of songs. The title track, Cursed Cross, and Realize Life. So immediately you know you're in for a vicious wave of ass-whooping ferocity right off the bat. You get hit with it. So, you know, then you're prepared. You're prepared to sit in your chair and not get blown off of it. Then you get to move into governmental slavery. I felt vocally this was very strong early on, and it has some of the most memorable guitar work on the album, I felt, as well, stemming from the intro, then gearing up in the verse. But then I have these brief tempo changes throughout that sort of brighten and rise the riffs, you know, allow the riffs to sort of come forward a little bit more because of those tempo changes. And I also like how the bass gets a brief groovy moment here to sort of break up the track, you know, and you know, slow it down a little bit so you get to hear things, pick up on little things. So I like that about the bass, and I'll also be mentioning bass a little later on. I really want to mention that in the song towards the end here. Now we move on to Slaves of Seated Hatred. This grabbed me right away with several nuances from the rhythm and lead guitars that gave a great burst to the verses and choruses here. And I noticed the cymbals align themselves within these moments, giving a lot of punch, a lot of explosiveness to the song. I really like that. I really like how they were explosive, but they weren't overly, you know, overwhelming. Like, they didn't take up the track, so you didn't lose the vocals, you didn't lose the guitars because the cymbals were so explosive it overwhelmed the production of the song. That's not what happened at all. It was just, it adds these bursts and you really get to pick up on it, and sort of, I think it helped accentuate actually the guitar riffs here a little bit, at least the guitar lead work. That's what I felt. And I also love in this song how the solos screamed and just shredded, and it had a little bit of melodies tucked within the solo as well, which I thought was neat, because it wasn't just all shredding and all craziness. There was these melodies in there as well. So I was like, you know, that really sort of makes a solo significant and stand out, gives it a little bit of its own heart and soul, a little bit of own flavor in Slaves of Seated Hatred. Wicked track to check out. Now the next one I want to talk about, it's got all this bass. It's just full of wicked depth, called Crucifier. This kicks off with the bass, and I believe that allows our ears to focus in entirely on the bass. Well, not maybe entirely just on the bass throughout, but it allows us to focus in. You know, we get to pick up on it. We know the tones to it, which is, and I think this is great because I felt the bass had its own hook and leveled up Crucifier. When the bass got its moments to shine, it just heightened it, enhanced our senses to it. You're like, oh, this makes the song memorable. But Crucifier also switches gears with back and forth many times, shaking you to the core with subtle drum tricks and tempo changes, and the vocals gave a good spark as well. I found the vocals were very tough in moments and did their own, emphasized their own strengths as well in this track. And I also got, you know, they got their own moment, like I said. And it was primarily, I felt the vocals got their own moment when the tempo switched. It's like, here you go, here's the vocal moment. Then we're going back to the drums and guitars, so they just balance each other out. So that's why I think Crucifier has a lot of wicked depth. You know, be sure to check out Crucifier, or yeah, the band the Crucifier and Cursed Cross. All links down in the description below, as well as like Bandcamp, stuff like that. I really enjoy checking out these obscure bands from all around the world. So if you got an obscure band and you're from Spain or Argentina or, you know, who knows, Macedonia somewhere, I'm just spitting out things. You know, feel free to message me. I definitely like to check out this stuff and put it on my channel, just like I did for the Crucifier Cursed Cross here. Thanks, Vendel, for sharing this with me. And check out his channel as well. All links down in the description below, as well as some more metal content floating up here for you guys. And until next time, folks, heavy listening.